Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Thursday morning. Thursday morning means a regular visit from one of the trio out at Delaware Park, and this Thursday it's Rich Glazier from Delaware. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning, Seth, and all the viewers.
And you and I were talking during the break, and I knew there was about a week left to the Delaware meet, and you're saying Thursday visits will end because closing day is next Wednesday, and I did want to touch on that because I knew we were wrapping up, and I pulled up track stats. Fighting Juan Vasquez seems to have a little bit of a commanding edge as far as the trainers as we wind into the last few days at Delaware. But I'll tell you what, the jockey title is coming right down to the wire. Alex Cintron, according to the Equibase stats, 47 wins. Dan Centino, 45. So that jockey battle looks like it's going to be intriguing.
Well, it's even better than that. I don't know how up-to-date your stats are, but Carol Cedeno won 2 races yesterday, so she also has 45. So we've got 3 jockeys with a chance to be the leading jockey. Now we have today, Saturday, and next Wednesday. So 3 racing days, but it gets even more intriguing, Seth, because Saturday at Laurel is Maryland Million Day, and a lot of Delaware connections will be there for those big races, big purses. I believe I saw all 3, Cintron, Cedeno, and Centeno, all named on horses at Laurel on Saturday. So I don't think any of them will be here on Saturday. So it'll come down today and next Wednesday to see who the leading jockey is.
Oh, nice. So that'll be something to keep our eyes on as we go through these last few days. Rich, if folks are playing Delaware this afternoon, what's the weather look like?
Well, right now it's cloudy, but I just walked out a few minutes ago before you called, and the sun's trying to break through. And I checked out the track. I would call the track right now good, but it really dries fast, and I think once the morning workouts get off and they start harrowing it, I think we'll be fast by the first race.
And since things are winding down, why don't you give us a little recap of how you think the meet went? I know a couple of your bigger races earlier this season attracted some very big names. That was a lot of fun. Overall, how was Delaware 2014?
I'd say I'd give it a plus. I think our numbers will be up at the end of the year, although after Labor Day, things really go down. I think that's the general all of racing.
Yeah.
I just think after Saratoga and Del Mar, the horse players need a break, the horses need a break, and it's just as a natural. I wouldn't mind seeing us open earlier in the year, say maybe in early April instead of mid-May, and then maybe ending shortly after Labor Day. I think that would be better because the numbers have gone down a little, and I hope it doesn't make us down for the whole year. But other than that, I think it was successful. We had some good horses that have run here. The Delaware Handicap, as always, was the highlight of the meet, and Belle of Galante won, and then she came back and won the Beldame. So that kind of made that, marked that as an official, a good race in the Del Cap. So she beat Princess of Silmar. So I'd say, and we always have some nice 2-year-olds. Larry Jones turned out some nice babies that I think might go on and become something special. So it'll be interesting to watch them. We're pretty much noted. We've had like 33 horses that have broken their maidens at Delaware Park in the last few years that have gone on to be graded stakes winners, including Barbaro and the Fleet Alex and some of the good ones. So Tappet, who's turned out to be quite a sire, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think this will go down as a pretty successful year here at Delaware.
Yeah, I've certainly played Delaware throughout the summer and into the fall as well, and enjoyed it. And we'll see if we can make something work for Thursday afternoon as well. Let's take a look at a few, starting with the opener today. A B-level claimer, $5,000 tags. Fillies and Mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 1.70 miles. How'd you see race 1 today?
Well, I like number 4, Delta Doyen, but let me just say that I'm not crazy about picking a 5,000 condition claiming race, but this one's been pretty sharp of late. She's finished second in her last 2. The last time I was on, I mentioned about the technicalities. This is a condition of the horses that haven't won a race since March 16th, and if you look down, she won on August the 2nd at Charlestown, but because it was for $4,500, she gets in. I really love those technicality horses, as I call them. They have a very high winning percentage. Wayne Potts, the trainer, hasn't been hot of late, and I think he could he could use a win here at the end of the meet. Carlos Gutierrez, the apprentice rider, will do the riding. And I just think off those last 2 second-place finishes, and she's got a field that's very weak, the competition. So as much as I don't like picking 5,000 condition claimers, I'm going with Delta Doyen in the opener, number 4.
And I'll reiterate, you and I were talking during the break, and you talk about not liking to pick a race like that. You said you're more keyed into turf racing. I'm the same way, and so sometimes the weather this time of year just works against us.
Yeah, and I think I'm sure you've gone over this with your audience, but as much as I want to come on here and promote getting you people up there to bet on the Delaware races today, but there's something for everybody. There's some cards you just look at and you just scratch your head. I knew I was going to be on today, so I really handicapped hard, and nothing was jumping out at me. But other people that are watching and listening, they might love a couple horses today. So that's the beauty of this game. Some people's steak is other people's hamburgers,
Well, and I told you during the break, earlier today I handicapped Keeneland for the handicapping show, and I found it an absolute skullbuster. But you're absolutely right, because I said during the show, I think there's going to be a lot of value. It's one of those days where some crazy things can happen, so you're absolutely right. If you're somebody who keys into something on a particular day like this, it may wind up to be your day.
That's right. There's been many a days, and I'm sure you can say the same stuff. You go to the track and you think you're going to get crushed, and you better not bet too much, and you end up having 3 IRS signers. Yeah. There's other days where you say, I can't wait. I'm going to go out to a steak dinner tonight because I love so many, and you're 0 for the card. So it's a beautiful game, and there's nothing like handicapping.
I'm laughing because that all sounds really familiar. I have had exactly that experience where you're like, this is going to be a tough day. Bingo, bango. But even more those days where you think, I'm a genius, and it
That's
just
right.
it does not work out.
You know when it really happens when you're in a handicapping tournament. I'm not going to enter. I'm not going to enter because I don't like anything. And the next thing you know, you're in Vegas because you qualified. That
is as you say, the beauty of the game. All right, let's take a look out at the 6th race this afternoon. Maiden Claimer, $5,000 tags, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds, and up going 3/4 of a mile. How'd you see the 6th?
Well, in the 6th race, I'm going with the favorite, and I hate to do that also, but I like number 3, Luna Brava. She started her career really at Belmont, mostly running against New York State breds, but then she came to Delaware for Juan Vasquez, who you earlier said is going to be the leading trainer here. I think it'll be his 3rd title in his career, and he won 3 races yesterday, so he is going out with a bang. So she's come to Delaware. She's run 3rd 2 straight times at odds on, so she's really burned a lot of money. But since then, he gave her a little rest. That was back in August. She's had 4 nice works. Like I said, Vasquez had 3 yesterday. Carol Cedeno had 2 winners. She's going for the riding title. She's only 2 off. The last female jockey that was a leading jockey at Delaware Park was a gal by the name of Rosie Napravnik. Perhaps you've heard of her.
Nice.
So that would put Carol in a real nice company. So and once again, this Luna Brava looks like somebody that eats a lot of chalk and burns a lot of paper, as they say. But I think she's caught a field today where she just might win because there's nothing else that can beat her.
Yeah, eventually they all get a field they can beat.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And speaking of jockeys, I'm just looking here on the number 7, Michael Ritvo, and we talked about him a few weeks ago when he moved north. But at Delaware so far, according to the stats I have, 25 for 99, 25% nice.
Yeah. He's been unbelievable, and I got the word that after Delaware he's going to try New York, so you might be looking for him up there, and I think he'll do well. Trainer Mike Petro, I don't know if you're familiar with him,
sure.
but that's his uncle. And yesterday, Mike, who's really been training for Frank Calabrese down at Gulfstream Park West and Gulfstream, actually saddled a horse here yesterday, and his nephew, Mike Ritvo, rode it and won. So it was a nephew-uncle team yesterday, and I'm sure that made the Petro/Ritvo family very happy.
Nice. And isn't there another Petro that's Nick?
Yeah, Nicky Petro, and he's still riding. In fact, I saw him here the other day. He rides mostly at parks, and usually he rides only for his brother, Mike. I think the other trainers don't want to use him because, he'll go and tell his uncle, his brother, hey, this is a good claim. You ought to buy, So I think that's the problem. But by the way, Nick Petro, who's Mike Ritvo's uncle, is just one of the funniest jockeys in the jocks room. Whenever he asks the jockey who's the biggest cut-up, they'll always say Nicky Petro. So it's a nice family of Petros. And Kathy Ritvo was Kathy Petro, and she married Michael Ritvo. That's the connection.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, Michael Ritvo, that just makes sense. That's completely logical. He would show up in New York in the wintertime because that is certainly, like a Delaware or a Maryland circuit, has kind of become a breeding ground for good apprentices, New York in the wintertime. So it just makes sense that he would go up there.
Yeah, I think he'll do well. He doesn't make it, for a bug boy, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He puts the horses in position to win, and that's all he can ask for.
Yeah, now it makes more sense, obviously, with his mom being Kathy Ritvo, but now being part of that Petro family, it makes even more sense that he comes in kind of already with some of the smarts. All right, let's take a look at the 7th race today. These are the kind of races I find a lot of fun. Nice maiden special for 2-year-olds. They're going to go 5.5. What did you see in race number 7?
Yeah, this is the kind of race that we've had those 33 horses that have gone on to be graded stakes horses. And I'm going with the bottom horse, number 9, National Debt. This is the first time started by National, who's by In Excess. He's 17% of his offspring win first time out, and 40% of them get to the winner's circle as a 2-year-old. He's been working very well, a couple bullet workouts. This one's a half to 1 stakes place horse, and here's a racing rarity today, Seth. He's the half to a horse called Dead Ceiling, who was a Grade 3 stakes winner. And if you looked down the page, number 1 in the 8th race is Dead Ceiling. So there's his half brother running. As you can see, Dead Ceiling won the Grade 3 Bashford Manor in 2013. So the little brother and the big brother will be running 1 race apart today. That could be an interesting double. The National Debt and the Dead Ceiling, half brother daily double.
Yeah, you got the 7-8 daily double. Yeah, you could play the sibling daily double. That's very interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
but anyway,
absolutely.
John Robb, also the trainer of National Debt, very good. He's winning here at 32%. He wins with first-time starters 28%, and with 2-year-olds 33%. And I just think this one's ready to have a nice debut today.
Yeah, very nice. And again, it looks like a fun race where there could be a little value playing some exactas and whatnot as well. Rich, appreciate the visit. And again, as we noted, the Delaware Park meet wraps up. We'll see if maybe we can get somebody in next Wednesday for closing day. But in the meantime, you're out of the rotation now, but we appreciated you joining us. Always like to talk about Delaware. Certainly, once Delaware closes and those horses go to other venues, also like to watch them. I think the Delaware horses moving out of Delaware always intrigue me as well. So we will have the Delaware connection continuing for a while. But we appreciated all your participation since the meet opened this year, and we'll plug you back in when Delaware opens next season.
Can't wait to do it, Seth. I hope to run into you. I'll be at Gulfstream most of the winter, hanging out, so maybe I'll bump into you down there. Who knows?
All right, sounds good. Absolutely. I typically make a wintertime sojourn down to Florida. I'm over at Tampa Bay Downs more often, but I get over to Gulfstream, so if I do, I'll look you up.
Okay, good enough. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot from Rich Glazier from Delaware Park. We'll take